Love your depression. Love your down times. Accept it, appreciate it, own it, which is super important.
Everybody has a reason to be anxious. In fact, we have the ultimate reason to be anxious because we know that we're vulnerable and we know that we're going to die. And how you cannot be anxious under those circumstances is a great mystery. It's a massive mystery. And the same thing applies with regards to depression. And then the same thing applies to some degree with regards to drug and alcohol abuse. There's plenty of reasons to drown your consciousness in alcohol, that's for sure. We could refer to the aforementioned anxiety and depression, not least. And so, and the sorts of drugs that people are prone to take are chemicals that take the affective edge off the tragedy of life.
It's funny how the friends around you sort of determine who you are. You change yourself. You come to school. And everybody swore around me at high school, so I started swearing. Why? Because it's the cool thing to do. Everybody swears. So I don't want to be left out. And you start losing yourself and you start putting your security in temporary things. You start putting your happiness in things that won't last. You can get drunk all you like, but in the morning, you're going to be sober with a headache with the same problems. And you start believing the lies around you, saying that you're not good enough, and no one's gonna want you, and you'll never ever do anything good in your life, and you'll never ever, achieve the dreams and goals that you wish you had done, or wish that you could do. And these steps take you closer. That voice saying, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and all you need is one more step to fall. So you have a choice to know which step you're going to take today. It was so hard because people put me down. And I started believing that I was not good enough. I started believing that I was a failure. That I'd never ever be somebody who people would like or people would accept. I started getting depressed. I thought, what kind of purpose do I have to live? I mean, are you just here to live to die? I mean, is there not a purpose for me? Is there not a purpose in life? There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you got to live with. The choice that we have though is either to give up or keep on going. I want to ask you, what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe in yourself? Are you going to believe everybody else's judgment on you? Are you going to believe people when they say that you're a failure and no one really likes you, no one really cares about you? What pain, what fears are kept inside. You don't have to hold on to those fears. You just take one step at a time. Not to say that one day these fears are just going to completely disappear, but can you forgive those who've hurt you? Because that's when healing starts. Every time someone puts you down, will you make a decision to bring somebody else up? Picture yourself in an open area. There's no buildings and there's no shelter, and there's a storm above you. And this storm represents the situations in your life. And you don't tell anybody what you're going through because first of all, they wouldn't understand. And second of all, they can't even help you anyway. You're in this storm and you're down on your knees and you're cold and you're weak and you feel like this is the end. Are you not still here? You are still here. You don't have to do this alone, but hold on to that person who you think might help you. And imagine them right now saying that they can't stop the storm right now, but they will hold you and keep you warm until the storm passes. Because when they hold you, the storm's still there, but it's okay. Because they're with you all the way.
You got to recognize that it is logical that you're going to move through this state, because if you look around you, nature will show you that there are seasons. There are constantly seasons. It is very logical for spring to follow winter. Right now, if you find yourself in a winter state, it is very sequential for you to move into the springtime, then the summertime. Then guess what? the fall of man. You're going to fall again. It's normal, it's natural. The world is our reflection. It happens everywhere with everything in every cell in our body. The entire cosmos is based on cycles. So your life will be also too. You will never be the same if you allow yourself to evolve with nature. If you're the same as you are at 50 as you were at 25, you just wasted 25 years of your life. Life is about following the flow and being available to respond appropriately to the season you find yourself in. So the very first thing that you've got to recognize and accept and allow to help you, because when we ride the seasons, it doesn't get in our way, it actually helps us. You will only burn up if you stay in that state. So if you consciously take a step backwards and allow yourself to cool down on a seasonal base or cyclical base, we can do it daily by meditating. When you sleep, you go into the cold, you go into the darkness. I'm hoping to have you understand this. Wherever you find yourself, high or low, it's going to come around. So if you find yourself in a high state, be very generous with all the energy that you can produce and share. If you find yourself in a low state, be very grateful for your ability to recover, rejuvenate, and then be reborn.
If you have depression, if you have anxiety, if you have post-traumatic stress disorder, if you have any kind of mental health condition, it's nothing to be ashamed of and it's nothing to hide, and it's something to hit head on with. There's one thing that if you did every single day, no joke, it would make an extraordinary difference in whatever mental health issue you're struggling with, and that is exercise. You've got to exercise every day. And the reason you've got to exercise every day is because what we know about human beings is that when you physically move, your physiology changes, and that changes your brain. Getting your heart rate up, getting outside, breathing, feeling connected, getting out of your house, which may make you feel depressed and trapped. Doing that every day, that physical push. You don't have to run. You don't have to go to an aerobics class. Get outside with your dog in the woods. Walk with a good friend for 2 or 3 miles. Doing that every single day not only moves your body, which changes your mind, it gets you out of your physical environment, which is one of the things that people with depression tend to have a hard time doing. And it also creates a bit of momentum and a bit of a routine in your life.
Well, one of the things that you often see with people who suffer from depression is that people who don't have enough order in their life tend to get overwhelmed. So for example, if someone comes into me and to see me and they say they're depressed, I always ask them a very standard set of questions. Do you have a job? If you don't have a job, you're really in trouble in our society. First of all, your biological rhythms tend to go off the rails right away because there's no reason to go to bed at any particular time and there's no reason to get up. And for many people, if they don't get up at the same time, they foul up the functioning of their circadian rhythms, and that's enough to make them depressed right off the bat, especially if they start napping during the afternoon. They also don't have a purpose. People aren't good without a purpose. We absolutely understand the circuitry that underlies positive emotion. Almost all the positive emotion that any of you are likely to experience in your life will not be a consequence of attaining things. It will be a consequence of seeing that things are working as you proceed towards a goal you value. Most of your positive emotion is goal pursuit emotion. So if you don't have a job, you got no structure, that's not good. Plus, you tend not to have a point. So you're overwhelmed by chaotic lack of structure and you don't have any positive emotion. Well, do you have any friends? So sometimes you see people who are depressed, they have no job, they have no friends, they have no intimate relationship, they have an additional health problem, and they have a drug and alcohol problem. You're so deeply mired in chaos that you can't get out because you make progress on one front and one of the other problems pulls you down. So one of the things I tell people who are depressed is like, don't sacrifice your stability. Get a job, even if it's not the job you exactly want. Get a damn job, you need a job. Find some friends. Get out in the dating circuit. See if you can establish an intimate relationship.
This would be a perfect time for you to go into your discipleship, go into your disciplines, meaning choose activities that you can do every day that don't require that you win, don't require that you gain something, don't require that you do it right. Do little rituals that rejuvenate you, that feel good, and you do them for doing's sake. I say doing, but really it's about being. This would be a wonderful time to begin meditation for meditation's sake, not for enlightenment. See, a lot of times we go into these yin rituals, these intuitive rituals, in order to gain something, but then we miss the point. Meditate for the sake of meditation. Meditate in celebration of your depression. Meditate in celebration of the winter time. Meditate so that you can simply be. When you resist the cycles and the patterns last longer because you're interrupting, you're interfering. When you meditate, it's like you get out the way.
What I'm teaching you to do is to not let your mind hijack you.
Right.
And it's very important because there's a very tight nexus between your habit of worrying and spiraling your thoughts and the way your body starts to amp up. And so we want to settle your mind so we don't agitate your body. And so if you start to practice that over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and for you 18-year-olds that are watching this, use this with the nerves that you have about what you're going to do with your life. Worrying about what you're going to be doing when you're 25 or how you're going to make money, it's not going to help you make money right now. It's only going to make you miserable.
Right.
So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cut off that habit.
Yeah.
That'll stabilize your body, and then go to a vision of you at the age of 25, driving a car that you think is cool and hanging out with a friend that's cool and saying to yourself, I'm so excited because I know I'm going to figure it out.